Hello everybody, Yellow Mustang here again with another Roblox scripting tutorial. Today we're going to be making an RPG soldier that shoots missiles, and he's also going to have a secondary weapon as a knife. So we are going to code this guy, and he's going to be pretty advanced. He's going to move, aim his arm, all that good stuff. We got some figures over here that we're going to try and take out. Just got them labeled bad because they're bad figures, so we're going to take them down. So looking at the soldier here, got the normal stuff: body colors, pants, shirt, Roblox default animation script. We're using R6 model today. We got humanoid, sound script that I made myself. You guys have seen this before. It's pretty basic. It's just the simple stuff. Aimer. In here I have a part welded inside of his torso that we're going to use to aim his arms at whatever we're looking at. Essentially all it is a 1x1 part where the front is in front of us and the top is on top, so we can aim this at whatever target and the arms will follow it. So I'll show you how that works later. We got this just welded to the humanoid root part. Just got some hair welded to his head. We got inside of his head we got a hurt sound. Let's go ahead and play this. As you can see, every time he gets hit or takes damage or something, then he's gonna play this hurt sound. Some people were requesting that from my last video, so I decided to take your guys' advice and add that. And then also I got like a laugh thing too. When he kills somebody randomly, this will play. It's pretty long, but it's pretty rare that it plays, so it's not a big deal. Okay, so we got like some helmet covers. You guys saw this being created in the time lapse there. Humanoid root part, normal stuff. Knife with some attacking sounds, whatever. This is like the same knife I used for Scream, just slightly different. Same attacking sounds, same animations though, but the texture is a little bit different because I don't know. I just made it less bloody, more clean, so it looks better. That's just welded to his torso, I believe. Yeah, so that's welded to his torso. Left arm, left leg, all that good stuff. Yeah, RPG. Got some sounds in here. Got a butt. The end of the weapon here. It's an attachment, I believe that's called. Yeah, an attachment. And I have this back here, so when it fires, the smoke appears back here, like an actual RPG does. I watched some videos on how they work, and a lot of smoke comes out, so we will have some smoke spawn back here, and that'll look pretty good. Weapon flash, this will enable for a second, so every time he shoots, looks like fire is happening, and it'll look a little more realistic. We just got it welded to his torso for now because it is currently holstered. Right arm, right leg, all that good stuff. And then inside the torso, we got left arm weld, right arm weld, which we're going to be using to weld the arms to that aimer piece I was talking about. We're going to be replacing the motors essentially with welds, so we don't break the motors. We'll use welds instead, and then switch it back to the motors when he puts away the RPG. So I'll explain that later. Okay, and what else we got here? And the last thing we got here inside the soldiers, the down stab animation, which is just going to be him stabbing people with his knife. So let's go ahead, without further ado, jump into our script here, as always, and we will name the script AI, per usual. So in the beginning here, we have like a million local variables to declare. So let's go ahead and get started with that. So local my root equals script.parent, wait for child, humanoid root part. Local my human equals script.parent, wait for child, humanoid. Local my torso equals script.parent, wait for child, torso, because it's an R6 character. Local my head equals script.parent, wait for child, head. Local aimer equals script.parent, wait for child, aimer, which is that weird piece in his chest that I showed you. Then we need the weld, so local aimer weld equals script.parent, or not script.parent, my bad. Aimer, wait for child, what is it called? Aimer weld. Okay, good. Now we'll do his arms, so local arm equals script.parent, Wait for child, right arm. Local arm equals script.parent. Wait for child, left arm. Okay, good. Now we'll do the arm welds, so local arm weld equals arm. Wait for child, right. Oh no, it's in the torso, isn't it? My bad. Torso. Wait for, let's see, my torso. Wait for child, right arm weld. Okay, good. And then left arm, my torso. Wait for child, left arm weld. Okay, so that should be good. So that's all the body part stuff we need. Now we're going to be doing weapon variables. So starting off with the RPG equals script.parent. Wait for child, RPG. It's just a part with a mesh, essentially, is all that is. And then RPG weld equals RPG. Wait for child, RPG weld. Okay, good. Next line here. And then local butt is our attachment, which would be RPG, wait for child, butt. And then local flash, which is our muzzle flash. Then RPG, wait for child, flash. Okay, now we'll do the knife. So local knife equals script.parent. Wait for child, knife. Okay, good. Then local knife weld equals script, or sorry, knife. Bad habit there. For child, knife weld. Okay, great. Okay, now we'll do our sound variables. So local RPG equip. I'm gonna spell so many things wrong. RPG, wait for child. Equip sound. So these are all the sounds. So when he takes out the weapon, that'll play. Local shoot sound equals RPG, wait for child. Fire sound. Okay, continuing on here. Reload sound is next. So local reload sound equals RPG, wait for child. Reload sound. Okay. Local knife equip sound equals knife. Wait for child. Equip sound. Okay. And then local knife attack sound equals knife. Wait for child. Knife. Oops. Attack sound. Okay. And then continuing on, local knife stab sound equals knife. Wait for child. Stab sound. Okay, and then we're gonna do the laugh. So local laugh sound equals my head. Wait for child. Laugh. Okay, then the hurt sound. So local hurt sound equals my head. Wait for child. Hurt. Okay, good. I think we're like halfway through the variables. Thank God. Continuing on here. Now we'll do some animation stuff. Luckily today we only have one animation, so this will be quick. So local knife swing equals script.parent. Wait for child. Down stab. Okay, and then local knife swing animation equals my human. Load animation knife swing, and set the priority. Knife swing dot priority equals anim dot animation priority dot action. So highest priority will overwrite the other animations that are currently happening. Next we'll have some booleans. So local reloading is false because we're not reloading right now. Local RPG drawn is false because the RPG is put away. Local RPG cool is equal to true because the RPG cooldown is good right now. Local knife drawn equals false because the knife is put away. Local knife cool is equal to true, so we can attack right now. There's no cooldown happening. Okay, so now the allies table here. So this will be all the people that is on our safe list that we won't attack. So if you want to put this guy on your team, you can put your name in here or something, or put other soldiers' names in here or whatever. Okay, so the first ally will be anybody that is named soldier, so script.parent.name. And then we also want to put figure in here, and we'll put civilian in here. So he's just not murdering all of our civilians. He's supposed to be protecting them because you're in the army. Okay, next. So local clone equals script.parent clone, and that's going to be for our respawning purposes. Okay, so all of that, like 43 lines of code, variables completed. Thank God. Let's actually start making some functions here. So function draw RPG is going to be us taking out the RPG. And then in here we want to yield RPG. So when we create the yield RPG function, yield knife function in there. So if we draw the RPG, we want to make sure the knife is put away. So when we create the yield knife function, then that will go ahead and run and just make sure we don't have both out at the same time. So now we'll do if RPG drawn is equal to false, then continue. We want to make sure we don't draw it out 2 times because that will mess things up. So now we will set that boolean to true because now the RPG is out. Okay, now we want to play the RPG equip sound. Okay, good. Now we will do the right arm setup. So we got to get the arms prepped basically so we can have the RPG like aim at whatever we're looking at. So essentially we're just going to be welding them to that aimer piece. So we're going to do R shoulder. Did I not declare R shoulder? Oh, great. I think I missed something. I did miss something. Okay, so come back up here. And we're going to get our shoulders. So local R shoulder equals my torso. Wait for child. Right shoulder. Okay, then same thing with the left, so local L shoulder. Why does that look different? I missed an H in here, that's why. Okay, left shoulder equals my torso, wait for child, left shoulder. Okay, good. Alright, let's continue on here. Now hopefully we have all of the variables done. And just too many variables. Alright, so our shoulder dot part1 is equal to nil. Part1 is equal to nil. And then we're going to, so that's basically removing our arm from the shoulder motor so we don't break it when we move the arm. That's very important that we do that. Now we're going to teleport the arm into position. So right arm C-frame equals aimer.cframe times C-frame.new 1.3, 0, negative 0.35. Okay, so that's the proper position for putting the arm correctly. I've already done this off camera, so you guys don't have to watch me mess around with that for 1,000 years. And then we are going to do our rotation. So mat.rad 90, and then 0 for the Y, and then Z, mat.rad negative 20. Should be good. And then we're going to go ahead and get this guy into place. So we're going to do R arm weld dot part 1 equals right arm. Okay, so there. Now we have removed it from the motor, and then we teleport it into the proper place based off of the aimer, and then we weld it into place. Yes, so that should be good. So part 0 of this weld is already the aimer, so it will follow the aimer. We're just setting this right arm to be part 1 so it actually sticks. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the left arm now. Pretty simple. Just keep this labeled so we don't lose track. So again, so we got to get rid of the shoulder. Part 1 is nil, and then we're going to do the C-frame magic equals aimer.cframe times cframe.new 0.40, negative 1.39. Magical. Okay, and then we do the angles, cframe.angles, math.rad 90, 0, and then let's see, what is this? What is this last one? 41. What a random number. Mat.rad 41. Okay, great. All right, now we weld it into place. So left arm weld dot part 1 equals left arm. Great. Okay, so the arms are good. Now we need to take the RPG off of our back and put it into our hands. So let's go ahead and label this RPG setup. Great. Okay, so RPG weld dot part 1 equals nil. So we have to remove the weld so we don't teleport the whole model when we're doing this. So remove that part 1, and then we're going to teleport the RPG. So RPG.cframe equals aimer.cframe times cframe.new 0.6, 0.35, and then negative 1.7. Okay, good. Then we'll do RPG weld dot part 1 equals right arm again, and then just re-weld that so it is stuck to the aimer again. So that should be good. Or actually, no, sorry. So we are welding the RPG to the right arm, so it follows the arm around based off of where we're aiming. Part 0 of this weld is actually the RPG itself. So we don't unweld the RPG in this case, a little bit different than the arms. We're just welding the right arm to the RPG. So we don't have to mess with part 0 because that's already the RPG. Okay, so moving on from that mess. All right, we are going to do the yield RPG, which is going to be us putting away the RPG. So we'll do if RPG drawn is equal to false, and reloading is equal to false, then continue. So we want to make sure the RPG is actually out before we run this function so we don't mess things up. And we want to make sure that we are not currently reloading and put it away, because if we're in the middle of reloading, then we can't put it away because that's going to mess up our little animation type thing that I did. I made like an animation without making an animation because I don't know. All right, so RPG drawn is now equal to false because we're putting it away. And then we're going to play the RPG equip sound again, signify that we're putting it away. Then we are going to do right arm setup. So we're basically going to do the same thing as above, but backwards. So we're going to do shoulder part 1 equals right arm. And then our arm weld dot part 1, get 1 in there, part 1 equals nil. Okay, so with motors, it will just teleport the part back into place wherever the motor is. So we don't have to set the C-frame or anything because the arm will just snap back into place essentially. So motors are pretty good like that. So left arm setup now is going to be left shoulder dot part 1 equals left arm. And then left arm weld dot part 1 equals nil. Okay, great. All right, now, so we got the arms back, then we got to put the RPG back onto our back. So RPG weld dot part 1 equals nil. So unweld it there. And then the RPG doesn't have a motor. It's welded, so we have to do the C-frame of it to put it back into place. So RPG C-frame equals my torso dot C-frame times C-frame dot new 0, negative 0.3, 0.6, and then times C-frame dot angles, mat.rad negative 90, mat.rad 45, and then math.rad 90 again. Math.rad 90. Okay, good. And I guess there's a fire outside, of course. Okay. So RPG weld.part 1 equals my torso. Okay. So you see how we switched part 1 of this RPG weld from the right arm to the torso now, so it sticks to wherever our torso goes instead of our arm. So that's important. And then also we want to make sure we reset the aimer C-frame times C-frame dot new 0, 0.50. Yeah, so we're also going to do aimer weld dot part. Let's see here. I'm going off script here. Where is the aimer at? Aimer part 0 equals nil. Fix the aimer position, then aimer weld dot part 0 equals aimer. Okay, good. So that's going to snap the aimer back into being straightforward, because this is going to be rotating around. So this will ensure that everything is flush and correctly positioned when we put away the RPG. So that way when we pull it out, everything will be in the proper position and won't look weird. Next thing we're going to do is set up a fairly simple function, check dist, part 1, part 2. Okay, all this is going to do is return a magnitude, essentially. So part 1 dot position minus part 2 dot position dot magnitude. All right, and that's all that function is. So this just shortens this magnitude function that we're going to be using a bunch to this, so we don't have to type out, you know, whatever part minus whatever part dot magnitude. We can just do check dist. So that will save us, you know, a couple of keystrokes there, which is very important when you write humongous scripts. Okay, so moving on to the AI part of this, I suppose we're going to have the AI find a target. So local target equals nil as a placeholder for whatever torso. Local distance we're going to search is 200 studs away, and then for underscore v in I pairs workspace get children do. And then we're going to do local human equals v find first child humanoid. Local torso equals v find first child torso, or v find first child humanoid root part. So we will find the torso or the humanoid root part, does not matter. We'll take either or. It's essentially the same thing, because it's going to be in the same position. So if the target has a human and if the target has a torso, if we find both of those parts and we do check dist torso, my root is less than distance. So if the distance between the enemy torso and our humanoid root part is less than 200, then we will consider that a valid target within our range. So we will continue. Then we'll do if human.health is greater than 0. So if the human is alive, then we'll continue. And then we'll do for ix in I pairs allies do. So we're going to loop through the allies table and make sure that the target name is not on our allies list. If it is on the list, then we'll just ignore it. So let's go ahead and code that out. So do if v.name is equal to x, then break. So if we're going through this whole list of allies and the name matches the ally that we're on, then we'll go ahead and break out of this loop and not consider this a valid target. And then we'll do else if the index is equal to number of allies, meaning that we're on the last iteration of this loop. So if we have gone through the entire list of allies and we're on the last one and the name is not equal to x, whatever ally we're on, then we will go ahead and consider that the target. So do target equals torso, and distance equals check dist. Torso, my roots. The order of these does not matter. In this case with magnitude, it's going to work the same either way, so feel free to switch it up. All right, at the end here, we're going to return target. All right, so that will loop through the whole workspace and find a valid target for us to attack. Target is going to be the humanoid root part of the target or the torso, so just keep that in mind when we're programming these other functions. Okay, so continuing on here, we're going to do the pathfinding now. So function path to target. So local path equals game get service pathfinding service. What did I just do? Holy crap. Pathfinding service create path with default parameters because the guy's a normal figure size, so we'll just leave everything default. So path compute async Hopefully I spelled that right. All right, so starting point is going to be my root position. Ending point is going to be target dot position. Good. Okay, now we'll do local waypoints equals path get waypoints. Good. So now we'll do if path dot status is equal to enum dot path status dot success, then continue. Now we will go ahead and loop through every waypoint and have our humanoid walk to each waypoint. So for IV and I pairs, waypoints do, and we'll do if v not action is equal to enum dot path waypoint action dot jump, then my human dot jump is equal to true. Okay, so that'll make sure we jump if we need to. Now we will do my human move to v dot position. So current waypoint that we're on, we'll go ahead and start walking towards it. And then we're going to do a delay call here with a 0.5 second delay, and then we'll call this function on a separate thread. So we'll do if my human dot walk to point dot y is greater than my root dot position dot y, then continue. My human dot walk to my human dot jump equals true. Okay. So delay is going to call this function on a separate thread, which essentially means it's not going to pause this function that we're in. It's going to run it in a separate script. Essentially, we don't want to hold up our script with this delay, so we run this separately. And then all we're doing is checking to see if the walk to point y is higher than our humanoid root position on the y-axis. So if it is higher than our current position, then we will need to jump, because sometimes the Roblox Pathfinding service doesn't tell us to jump, so this just double checks it and makes sure that we do not get stuck. Okay, so now we'll do local move success equals my human move to finished wait. Okay, let's get this. This is not a semicolon, this is a period. Okay, so local move success, my human move to finished wait. So this is going to pause the script until the move to finish, either the move to function call here either finishes or it times out after like 7 seconds, I believe. And if we successfully move to the point, then this value will be true. If it fails and this times out, then this will be false. So we want to see if it times out. So if move success is false, then we will go ahead and break out of this path, because if we didn't get to the waypoint, then we probably won't get to the next waypoint. So it's better to just break out of this completely and generate a new path, because most likely we are stuck. Next, we're going to do if check dist waypoints, number waypoints, and then what else? Target is greater than 20, then break. So this is checking the distance between the final endpoint and the target. This is going to make sure that the target is within 20 studs of the final endpoint. So if the target moves, then we will break out of this path and generate a new path to the target, because there's no point in walking to the target if he's no longer there. So that'll be good. So we have it 20 studs, so it gives it a fair amount of movement, so we don't have to constantly regenerate the path. I found that to be a good way of doing that. Okay, so next line, we'll do else if check site. Oh, I didn't create the check site function, did I? Anyways, check site target break. Okay, so check site is going to be raycasting directly to the target, and if we have a straight line of sight to the target, then break. We'll write this function next. But all you need to know is it raycasts from our humanoid. It raycasts from the RPG straight to the target. If there's no blocks in the way and we can draw a straight line to the target, then this will return true. So if we have a straight line to the target, we don't need to pathfind anymore. We can just move directly there or shoot them. So this will go ahead and break out of the path for us. Next, we'll do if I is divisible by 5 equals 0. So every 5th waypoint, we're going to continue. So if the index is divisible by 5 to 0, then continue. So every 5th waypoint, do if find target is not equal to target, then break. So this is essentially saying if we check the workspace for a closer target and that target is not the one that we're currently targeting, then we will break and switch targets essentially, because we don't want to be running past potential targets for a further target. We always want to be targeting the closest target to us. Okay, so that should be good there. Let's go ahead and get this check site function created. I should have had it further up, but whatever. Okay, so now function check site target, do local array equals array.new. Starting point is going to be RPG position, and then the direction, which is going to be target dot position minus my RPG dot position dot unit times 100. The order of these does matter. The target has to be in this, come first, and then RPG has to come second, or this will shoot in like the opposite direction. So just be careful with that. Dot unit is going to take these two values and draw like a straight line to it, and then this times it by 100. So 100 studs away essentially is we're checking. Next, we're going to do local hit position equals workspace find part on array with ignore list, and then we just give it our array, and then the things that we want it to ignore, which is script.parent. So it is going to ignore all of our body parts when drawing the array. You can have multiple objects in here if you want. We just need script.parent for now, for this case. Now we'll do local hit. Oops, not local hit. We'll do if hit, then continue. If hit is descendant of target.parent, then return true. If it is not, then we will return false. Okay, so find part on array with ignore list is going to return a hit value, whatever part it hits. So if it does actually hit something, then we're going to run an additional check. If the hit is a child of the target.parent, so if it's like the target's head or the target's left arm or the target's leg, then any of those are valid. We have a straight line of sight, then we will return true. If we have no hit, or we don't, if we hit something that isn't a child of the target, then we'll just return false. Okay.
Oh fuck, I can't believe you've done this. Oh fuck, I can't believe you've done this. Oh fuck, I can't